All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there is also a blog, and you can visit the blog by going to myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. Not blog talk, but blogspot.com. All right, and then also there's a video which for this one, you might want to go see the video because I'm going to show you a video. Um, and yeah, so, oh, come on. All right. So you might want to go there. Then, what's the other thing? RSS.com will will post a transcript. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, which I know sometimes that can happen, then rss.com and look for my FX Buddies has a transcript that you can read, and they do a pretty good job of getting my words right. All right. So, today it's early in the day, but it's Thursday and there's football on tonight. So if I don't do this now, guess what? It's not gonna get done. So I wanted to do this now because this is really something. I think, I hope. Um, but anyway, before I get started, so I think that's everything. If there's wherever you're listening or watching or whatever, if there's a join or subscribe or whatever, connect, button, click that because I don't post regularly. And if technology works like it's supposed to, when I post, you'll be updated. All right. And then also, if you do go to the blog, please visit this Ride the Wave X39. It's a right now because of how I have it, you can't click on it. But if you go to the blog, it will be a live link and you can click on it. All right. So well, you know what? The title of this is The Dollar is Out of Control. What will happen in Iraq's banks on Sunday? But before we get into that, I wanted to take you through a timeline for the day. So, the first article that came out was this exclusive to Reuters, right? It says Iraq to end all dollar cash withdrawals by January 1st, 2024, says a central bank official. Okay, but that's nothing new. We knew that, right? Aliyah Locke put that out last weekend. And so that's why I was like, we probably gonna be here till 2024. But nobody wants to hear that. But I mean, we're only, let me see, October 5th, November 5th. That's 30 days. December 5th, 60 days. So is there less than 90 days left in this year? I think so, right? Okay, anyway, don't get depressed. It's all good, right? It is what it is. We have no control over it. But this weekend may be a catalyst. The events of today may be a catalyst to put pressure on whoever it is, right? That needs to have pressure put on them to let this go. All right. So it came out and it really doesn't say anything else, anything that we didn't already know. So they're doing that. This move aims to stamp out the illicit use of some 50% of the $10 billion that Iraq imports in cash from the Federal Reserve, blah, blah, blah. We know that. It's also part of a broader push to de-dollarize an economy that has seen the greenback preferred over local notes by a population weary of recurring wars and crises following the 2003 U.S. invasion. Look at that. They call it an invasion. So, oh, and these are not my words, YouTube. These are these articles' words. And since I'm thinking about that, let me say fair use disclaimer. Anything that I present in this presentation is for commentary, teaching, sharing, whatever. So it falls under the fair use disclaimer. Okay, so continuing, it there was something else here I wanted to read. It says, "Oh, you want to transfer? You want a card in dollars? Here you go. You can use the card inside Iraq at the official rate, or if you want to withdraw cash, you can get the equivalent in dinars." But this person says, "Don't talk to me about cash dollars anymore." So it's hard to understand because supposedly they're not supposed to be using dollars. The merchants aren't supposed to be accepting dollars. So why do these people want dollars? Well, I shouldn't say these people. Why do the citizens want dollars? Now, and you say, well, how do you know the citizens want dollars? I'm about to show you. Okay. And then also, isn't this interesting? Iraq is heavily reliant on Washington's goodwill to ensure oil revenues and finances do not face U.S. censure. Okay, so there's a dollar shortage, and if you saw, watch, listen, whatever, to the last podcast that I did, there's a wonderful article called something like the dollar conversion to dinar cycle or something like that. And it explained why. Basically, it's because their core source of revenue, which is oil, is sold in dollars. So then they have to turn those dollars into dinars. But there's still some things that use dollars, right? And they're caught in between using the dinar, which they don't trust. They don't want to use the cards. They don't want to get their money on cards. They don't trust that. And then, or the dollar, which, you brought the dollar to me in 2003. You brought me the dollar. And so now, just overnight, you want me to not trust the dollar and not use it? All right. So I don't think you're gonna hear this, but I'm gonna walk you through. Oh no, the video's not gonna play. Okay, that's all right. I have it over here. Okay, so, the guy, a man. So there's a bank. There's already a lot of people in this bank, and I don't know why there's a lot of people in the bank. But this guy is, he's almost a foot taller than the average Iraqi. And he's screaming and he's pacing back and forth. And at one point, I think he kicks a chair or he picks it up or something. And then one of the guys that's one of the males, well, they're all males as far as I can see. um, he like touches his shoulder, like, okay, you're yelling enough, right? But here's some of what he says. On Thursday, video circulated on social media showing a depositor at a bank in Baghdad threatening to burn it down if he did not receive his deposit in cash dollars. And so this is a scene reminiscent of what happened in Lebanon. So he says, "I swear I will burn it down. I swear I will enter the safe and take my money." Woo! So this is one man, and this video has gone viral. It's in Egypt, it's in Jordan, it's in the Emirates, the UAE, whatever. So that was next, right? Then there's an article that's, if you come to the blog, it's at the bottom, and it's not free. The Wall Street Journal, sometimes they'll make articles free, and sometimes you have to pay for it. I'm blessed to have a subscription. Iraq asked for $1 billion in cash. This time, Washington said no. And even though this is the Wall Street Journal, they'll take this article and they'll post it in Iraq in Arabic. So if I'm a citizen and I'm angry, or now maybe I'm not angry, but maybe I'm worried because my nephew saw this video of this man who's at the bank and he's mad and he can't get his money. And now here Washington is telling my country I can't have my money. That's not good, right? But so let me see. The title, I just read you the title. The U.S. is trying to cut off the illicit flow of dollars through Iraq to Iran, but Baghdad says it needs the money from its oil sales. And it does, right? This is how we make our money. So, since the U.S. invasion, what time is it? Okay. Since the U.S. invasion of Iraq 2 decades ago, the U.S. has supplied $10 billion or more a year to Baghdad on semi monthly cargo flights. So do you guys remember when we even had people call in to a certain call, which I don't mention on this, but they were like, I saw the planes being loaded with pallets of money. We even had people say, I flew the planes with pallets of money. And here it is in black and white, that they would bring the money over with massive pallets of cash. Okay, so and this is really a good article. It's kind of lengthy though. If I read it to you, it probably would take 7 minutes. Sometimes they put a time up here. No, but not on this one. Let me see if they have it on the Wall Street Journal. Oh, that's not even the right article. Anyway, okay, so let me get back. Stay focused. I was trying to make this 15 minutes long, and look, here we are at 12 minutes. But anyway, okay, so we'll go back up. So then that came out. The Wall Street Journal article came out in Iraq. The Wall Street Journal, I think they start posting at like 4 a.m. my time. Okay, so that's going around. Now, let's go back up. Oh, then there's an article. I told you Reuters, right? So everything started happening. I mean, this was like less than 2 hours. All of this was happening in less than 2 hours. A ton of articles came out, which I'm not going to read them all, but if you come to the blog, you could see them. So that's this one. So this article, which the person who spoke works for the CBI. It's not the CBI governor, but he does work for the CBI. It caused such a stir that they had to make a follow-up. So here's the follow-up, also in Reuters. Iraq Central Bank moving to reduce parallel market exchange rate. Yay, and that's what we want, right? But they're just talking about getting it from 1700 where it probably is now, and it's probably going to go up over the weekend, but getting it from 1700 down to what we see on the CBI 1310, but we've heard that it's 1132, right? So yeah, so they had to put that out, hoping it would calm, all the stir that the first article, on top of that guy screaming in the bank, on top of uh, Iraq asked for money and Washington said no. All right. Now, what is this? Okay, clarification from the central bank regarding statements by the official of the Foreign Transfers Department. So here's another guy who works for the CBI. And he came out and said, okay, you read the article and you got all upset, but it's full of inaccurate information. He stressed the central bank guarantees dollar deposits, and the citizen who deposited his money in dollars with any Iraqi bank previously or by 2024 has an inherent right to receive these amounts in cash and in US dollars. But do they really? Okay, so then also it went on to mention there was no mention in this article that the rate would reach 1700 and that the central bank has its tools that it uses to reduce the difference between the two prices. Then he goes on to say, on the contrary, there are measures being taken. It will contribute to reducing the difference. So I like that. But we want more than just reducing the difference because they've been promising that for at least 2 months, if not longer, right? And it hasn't happened. We want the RV. That's what we want. But anyway, so here's another one. The central bank issues a clarification regarding the ban on cash withdrawals and transactions in dollars till early next year. What else is here? Here's another one. The central bank says the dollar will not reach 1,700 dinars per dollar, right? That's what it is. We have stopped external transfers only. So, and then that's what it goes on in other articles. It says that this guy, he was trying to get money that was being sent to him from abroad. So outside of the country, but I don't believe that. Um, so let me see. They put out, that's that. I already talked about that, and I already talked about that. So they go, the reforms undertaken by the Central Bank of Iraq aim to achieve compliance of the bank and the banking system in general with international compliance standards, and to prevent the dollar from reaching parties prohibited from obtaining it or speculating with it. So Iran, Turkey, Syria, right? But we know the money's going to them, but they still had an auction. I know there's people out there saying the auctions. Oh, you know what? I apologize. The window's open. Oh boy, it says it's 90 degrees. I don't know if it's 90 degrees outside, but anyway, it is. It's a nice warm day today, so I have the window open. All right. Let's see. So yeah, so 2024, they're not gonna be able to. Well, you know what? I'll just say this. Okay, here's another thing. Government source. So now this is a government source thing. Oh, we better get a handle on this, right? But I'm not going to give you my name, but I'll talk to you. The financial situation in Iraq is good, and there's no shortage of dollars in cash. Yeah, I don't believe that. They want there to be a shortage because they don't want them using dollars, right? I mean, they don't want them using cash, period. But seriously, not dollars. But anyway, so the government source announced that the financial situation in Iraq is good and there is no shortage of the monetary supply of the dollar, especially indicating that Iraq received today a shipment amounting to $500 million. Hmm, who did they get that money from? And didn't the Wall Street Journal just say they asked for some money and they were told no? But I haven't read the whole, I'm like halfway through the article. But like I said, I had to post this now or it wouldn't get done. Okay, let's see. That's so this is the same thing that I just read to you, but this is on the CBI site. And they've been tweeting this morning. So yeah, this is serious. All right. Then here's the title. The Iraqi central bank explains the mechanisms for withdrawing dollars in response to the Reuters article. So it goes on to say, now this sentence here, I don't think is in other articles, but they're like, yes, we heard your worries or concerns. The rate is not going to reach 1700. It says that again. These changes don't take effect until January 1st, 2024. But then it says, he added, United Nations agencies and diplomatic missions may continue to be allowed to withdraw cash in dollars. So see, there'll still be dollars in Iraq, just not as many. And unfortunately, even though here it says there'll be a a dollar rate for legitimate trade and travel activities, there'll be corruption. There's always corruption, right? So then they have the Iraqi central bank is moving to reduce the exchange rate in the parallel market. There's another one. Again, we don't want that rate. We want a new rate. The dollar crisis is worsening in Iraq. Quarrels within private banks. So, see, now that's kind of what's the word? Superlative, right? Because it was one guy and he didn't fight, right? He just was angry and he was screaming. But how could you not pass that article with that title, right? So, yeah. Uh, and there's actually this. Oh, this is one of the articles that's in. It's an Arab publication, but it goes to the UK. So, in the UK, they're seeing that. They're seeing that video, and they're hearing um, people are having trouble getting dollars out of the bank, right? All right. So I think that's it. Oh, here, and isn't now I find this interesting also. The Bank of England pledges to support the efforts of the Central Bank of Iraq to achieve financial stability in Iraq. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, and I think just more preparation. And it says here, this meeting represents an important step towards strengthening economic and financial relations between the United Kingdom and Iraq. The Bank of England pledged to strengthen cooperation with the Central Bank of Iraq and support its continued efforts for economic growth and financial stability in Iraq. So, and they talk about deposits and insuring, not insuring, but in like like making you feel secure about the deposits. They talk about that also. Okay. What is this? New measures to restrict the dollar. The passenger quota is threatened with cancellation, according to a source in the central bank. Yeah, so this came out later. This has the new measures, but I already went over those. Oh, but here, oh no, okay, so here is the other one. It says the new restrictions on dealing in dollars were supposed to be implemented after Iraq switched to electronic trading as the market dispenses with cash, and then it says cash dinars. And thus the need for cash liquidity does not increase as is happening now. Merchants will work to open accounts with the TBI Bank, which in turn will deal with specific banks in all countries of the world, right? When purchasing goods, the merchant will present the dinar to the banks in Iraq, and then it will be converted into a dollar in the country from which it is imported. So I don't know if that sounds familiar to you. It should, but it probably doesn't. But they talked about this maybe 4 months ago. They started doing that slowly. They're getting merchants on that system. And they did start it with the Trade Bank of Iraq, which is one bank, a major bank, and then eventually that's going to be the system. All right, so I don't want to say I'm excited. I definitely want to say so. It's my hope that they're saying Sunday um, that that when they go to the banks, I would love for them to get the new notes at the new rate. But even if not, even if they have a run on the bank, it's like I said, it's pressure on the country, pressure on the government to put pressure on whoever's telling them, no, you have to wait, right? All right, so I hope you found this interesting. I certainly did. Again, I think it's forward progress. And so I probably won't post unless there's something like truly worthy. I probably won't post again until Sunday, late Sunday, to see if anything happened. All right. So it's Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for listening. Thank you, new subscribers. I have some new subscribers. Welcome, welcome. Um, so like I say, what do I say? What is it? What do I say? It's not coming. Pay all your bills, but there's something before that. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to accumulate. Nope. Appreciate. Man, too bad I can't cut this. Rewind. Take two. Start over. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And be careful. Take care of yourself. There's so many people passing away from self-induced things. Man. Anyway, sorry. I don't know why that came out. All right. So until next time, thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame fits. And until next time.